In 2007, when SIFCo got the tenure over the land-based, Bannock Point was part of it. So it was a recreation site. And we were excited because it was historically had been a very well used site by the local population, but there was never a management strategy around it. So the people that lived here at the time would remember that people used to park cars all over the forest, and there was no designated trails, and it was really kind of the Wild West of recreation sites. And when SIFCo took over the tenure, we talked with the Ministry of Forest about taking over the management of the site, and we came to a gentleman agreement that we were going to do that. And so from 2007 to 2022, really, we've been the primary caretaker of the site. And the first thing that we did is we looked at the site and we realized that the site did not include a really nice upper walk that went to a viewpoint, so we increased the size of the recreation site to include that. And then we created maps and we designed an overall plan for the site. And one of the next things that we did is we created a parking lot, actually a parking lot where people could park. We put signage up. We built bridges across some of the creek crossings that were existing on the site. We dig a few extra outhouses. We established 14 permanent campsites, and we brought some fire rings in those campsites. We created 2 main trails, and we took the myriads of trails that existed and identified 2 trails and made those the primary ways to get down into to the lake from the parking lot. We also established a day use area and a camping area, so that one of the trails would lead to the day use area and the other trail was leading to the camping area. And then the access from the lake was directly to the day use area. Then we began to do wildfire mitigation in the site. We first did just along boat trails. We did wildfire mitigation, and it was also part of our introducing the people of the valley to wildfire mitigation, because really early on, it was 2009, so it was the very beginning of that type of work for us in the valley. So because a lot of people were going down using Bannock Point Recreation Site, you could see a linear what we now call type 1 treatment on both sides, and it was a way for educating people as to the type of work that SIFCo was doing in terms of wildfire mitigation. And in 2018, we got a grant through Forest Enhancement Society of BC, and we actually ended up doing the entire site and do wildfire mitigation on the entire site. The site looks beautiful. Anyone that's been here from 2007 until now has seen how amazing the site has changed. So it was really a nice relationship. The community was really happy with the work, and the site remained free throughout these years. And then probably around 5 years ago, Recreation Sites BC started to have a greater interest in the site. And for the last 5 years, it had been more of a mutual maintenance of the site. They came in and they added another outhouse by the lake. They built a few picnic tables. They did some of the wild danger tree falling in the spring. So for the last 5 years, there's been this unspoken agreement that we will co-steward the site. And then last year we were told that they were taking it over. So essentially the 2007-2022 window of SIFCo being the primary caretaker of the site is now over, and the site is now being reverted back to Recreation Site BC, and they will be the ones taking it on from here on. So that's the end of an era in a way for the SIFCo and Bannock Point Recreation area. One of the things that we did as part of our maintenance, we had volunteers from the Red Mountain Residents Association that for years and years and years took weekly or bi-weekly walks along the trails and looked at all the campsites and made sure that the users were actually respecting the site and we're following the very limited guidelines of clean up after yourself and make sure that you don't leave your fire unattended. So I want to thank the Red Mountain Residents Association for all their years of commitment as a community organization to making sure that the site was well used and well taken care of. We truly hope that as this transition occurs, that the community will feel that what is being done is aligned with what they wish to see happen on the site. It's a beautiful place.